نتاكم في جنوب السودان.
The Dawn on iRadio.
Right, a very good morning to you and welcome to the second half of the Dawn program here on iRadio, live broadcast from the capital, Juba. I'm your host, Emmanuel Joseph Akile, and today is Wednesday, the 25th of June, 2025. 12 minutes now after the hour of 7. Now, the Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs says the permanent constitution-making process should be people-driven, transparent, and inclusive. Well, Dr. Weg Mamer said the transitional constitution stipulates that the process of constitution making shall be democratic, participatory, and inclusive. He also added that the constitution mandates and guarantees the right to freedom of expression. Weg added that media is not just an observer during elections, but rather has a great role in participating in the history. He was speaking at the opening of a 3-day workshop on the role of journalists in the permanent constitution-making process in South Sudan yesterday.
The media is not simply an observer of a history, but it is a participant in history making and shaping the nation and the history itself. The process of constitution making shall be democratic, participatory, and inclusive. As we continue with the permanent constitution-making process, we must ensure that it is people-driven, transparent, and inclusive. The transitional constitution of the Republic of South Sudan 2011 as amended, particularly Article 36(4), provide that the process of constitution-making shall be democratic, participatory, and inclusive. This principle underlines the need for wide public engagement, and to achieve this, journalists are indispensable in this process. They are very important in this process. As all of us know, every citizen shall have the right to the freedom of expression. The Constitution mandates and guarantees the right to the freedom of expression. Article 34(1) of our transitional constitution speaks to this. Every citizen shall have the right to the freedom of expression, reception, and dissemination of information, publication, and access to the press without prejudice to public order, safety, or morals as prescribed by law. These provisions safeguard media freedom and recognizes that a free, responsible, and vibrant press is a cornerstone of democratic governance. Journalists are therefore expected to inform, educate, and mobilize the public to understand and engage with the constitution-making process. The National Media Authority Act 2013 and other media laws further reinforce this responsibility by promoting professional journalism and protecting the rights of both the press and the public. The role of journalists in providing factual, balanced, and inclusive coverage is more crucial now than ever. I encourage our media professionals to rise to this national call with responsibility, patriotism, and nationalism. To the esteemed participant, I encourage you to use these 3 days to reflect on how best you can contribute to this national duty, social justice, democratic governance, and so forth. Did your reports amplify the voice of the people, especially young women, youth, and rural communities, whose input must be centered in the making of a lasting constitution. As the Ministry of Justice and Constitutional Affairs, we remain committed to ensuring a constitution that upholds justice, human rights, the rule of law, and the dignity of all South Sudanese. A constitution that is born from dialogue and participation of all South Sudanese people. Let me emphasize that the ministry is mandated to uphold the principle of good governance. I encourage you, and also I remind you that we remain committed to ensure an open, participatory, and people-centered process that is guided by national values and constitutionalism. In this light, journalists are expected to be active facilitators in dissemination of accurate, balanced, and inclusive information that reflects the views of our diverse communities, urban, rural, women, men, youth, and elderly people. I leave you with the word enshrined in Article 1.5 of our Constitution. South Sudan shall be governed on the basis of justice, equality, respect for human rights, and the rule of law.
Right, and we heard there from Mamer, Wek Mamer, he's the National Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs, talking about the permanent constitution-making process and also the role of journalists. This is enshrined in the revitalized peace agreement before the conduct of general elections slated for December next year. Now, on his part, the chairperson of National Constitutional Review Commission also said the permanent constitution-making process should be participatory and as enshrined in its Act of 2022. Dr. Riang Yer Zor had this to say.
The current constitution-making process, according to Article 6.13 of the RRC's 2018 and Sections 12 and 34 of the Constitution-Making Process Act 2022, has been designed in such a manner that media shall be indispensable. We know that a constitution-making process can be designed to fall within one of the two main categories. The first category is that of elite constitution-making process, in which the elites sit, draft, and pass a constitution for everybody, and then say at the end of the day that you have a constitution, but you have not contributed to the making of that constitution. The second category is democratic constitution-making process. While the former is non-participatory, the latter is participatory, in which the public or the people are involved through civic education and public consultations, exercises, and their views are reflected and form the basis for the drafting of the constitutional text. So the civic education and public consultations are done with the view that the results or the outcomes will be used in the drafting of the constitutional text. So as a country, through peace negotiations, we have made a decision to go for the participatory process. And this is what the Constitution-Making Process Act 2022 has reflected in the current design of the process. As such, our choice for a democratic constitution-making process entails a wider public participation, which shall require a wider media coverage for the message to circulate wide enough for our people to make informed decisions and choices during public consultation exercises. It is for this reason that a workshop on the role of journalists in the permanent constitution-making process in this country is of utmost importance. For such an exercise should rightly be expected as stated in the invitation letter that I received, and I quote, to equip journalists with the skills and knowledge to report responsibly and contribute to constructive public discourse during periods of the making of the permanent constitution. I think this is the essence of the whole matter, and this justifies our presence here in this hall.
Right, and that was Dr. Riang, the chairperson of the National Constitutional Review Commission, speaking in Juba yesterday. We now go for this short break and we'll be right back. Don't go away.
The Ministry of Health is conducting a commemoration of African Vaccination Week with rotavirus vaccine, targeting all children aged between 6 to 10 weeks. Take your child to the nearest health center during the African Vaccination Week or the Big Catch-up campaign.
Good morning, Mama Nyandeng.
Good morning, Mama Mercy. Where are you coming from this morning?
I had taken Mercy for rota vaccine at the health center to protect my child against rotavirus diarrhea in infants and children. She was also vaccinated with other routine immunization vaccines at no cost. Is baby Mercy already vaccinated?
Yes, she was vaccinated last month. Does she need to be vaccinated again?
Yes. She needs to be vaccinated with at least 2 doses of rota vaccine at 6 and 10 weeks to be fully vaccinated, immunized, and protected against rotavirus.
Really? I just heard from afar that there will be a vaccination campaign during the African Vaccination Week, but I was not keen enough to get the details.
You know, rotavirus vaccines are effective in preventing diarrhea and deaths in infants and young children. This vaccine has just been introduced this year, 2025. A lot of children were not vaccinated. Some even travel without being vaccinated. I wouldn't want to see any child get diarrhea.
I didn't know that rotavirus is that serious, that it can even cause death.
Yes. Rotavirus is a life-threatening disease caused by the virus. The signs are fever and vomiting, followed by watery diarrhea, and can cause abdominal pain and dehydration. Children who survive may be dehydrated, which can cause serious complications.
Dehydrated or serious complication? Oh, that sounds scary. How can I protect my child from this dangerous disease?
The only way for your child to be safe is when your child and all children in your neighborhood are vaccinated with rota vaccine.
I will do that immediately. Where can I take my child for these vaccines? Hope it's not late.
No, you are not late. Rota vaccine and all the other routine vaccines are available at all health facilities and designated health centers located in your areas. Tell all your neighbors with children between 6 to 10 weeks to be vaccinated.
I'm glad you told me. I will take my child immediately to the nearest health center for rota vaccination.
Bring your child to the nearest vaccination site and protect them from rotavirus and vaccine-preventable diseases. This message is brought to you by the National Ministry of Health with support from WHO and UNICEF.
iRadio, your eye on South Sudan. iRadio, your eye on South Sudan. iRadio.
إنتكم في جنوب السودان.
مرحبا بك مرة ثانية مستمع راديو في كل مكان. لسه بتسمع للبث المباشر لبرنامج الدون جايك هنا من إذاعة آي راديو عينك على جنوب السودان. قبل شوية سمعنا من وزير العدل والشؤون الدستورية بيتكلم عن عملية وضع الدستور الدائم لازم يكون بقيادة الشعب وشفافة وشاملة، وأضاف ويك ممير إنه الدستور الانتقالي بينص على إنه يكون عملية وضع الدستور ديمقراطي وتشاركية وكمان شاملة. احنا برضو سمعنا من رئيس بتاع اللجنة الوطنية لمراجعة الدستور اللي هو الدكتور ريان غير، انه قال عمليه وضع الدستور الدائم لازم يكون فيه مشاركه كويس وزي ما هو منصوص عليه في قانونه في سنه 2022. نمشي ونسمع برضو من بعض من الصحفيين اللي هم يتكلموا، لزميل بتاعنا اللي هو جاكسون غانيكو، وده هنا في العاصمه جوبا امبارح، في موضوع بتاع دور الصحافه والاعلام في وضع الدستور الدائم وكمان الانتخابات.
My name is Deng Gaiteng. I'm a journalist. I'm from Jonglei State. I'm a freelance journalist and currently helping at Radio Jonglei, the online media. Constitution is the supreme law that guides the country, and when it is being formulated, people have to be informed about what is being put in that document. It's important for the people of any country, and in this case, the people of South Sudan. This will be the first permanent constitution for the country, and as such, South Sudanese need to get informed about it, and that's why journalists are key in this process, so that they inform the masses about the process of drafting the permanent constitution. The journalists present here, it's crucial because they will know their roles as the other stakeholders meet to discuss and draft the constitution. Where there are delays, the journalists will come in there and say, hey, you were supposed to do this one and this one, but it's not done. Why is it, not done? So this information is important for the local person there. But if journalists have no idea about what is going on, nobody will know about the constitution, what is going to be in there, and what are the challenges. As you already know, the country is preparing for election next year. Without constitution, a country cannot go for election. So journalists present here is key. It will help them get necessary knowledge so that they can help inform South Sudanese about the constitution making process.
My name is Flora Gume from Western Equatoria State. I work for Yambe FM. In the key roles of a journalist in a permanent constitution making process. For sure, it's important for journalists to be trained on a permanent constitution making process in South Sudan. One, journalists are the most people to carry civic education, that they want to carry the right information to the public and to the grassroots people, to educate them about the importance of a constitution making process. And again, that the voice of the voiceless. That the journalists are the ones who speaks on behalf of the people who are unable to raise up their voices, like women and elderly people. Journalists are the one who goes on the grassroots and collect informations and connect, let me say, the bridge between the community and the government. Wherever something happens, it's the journalist to raise it up to the level of the government so that they can understand and maybe react into it. That's why the training is very, very important to the journalist, and the journalist knowing their key roles in a constitution making process.
أنا بعرف نفسي والمشار داو community correspondent جام بنشكر راديو اي راديو للمشاركة، وانا كنت من ضمن الناس اللي شاركوا في ورشة نظموا منظمة جايكا بمشاركة الصحفيين على مستوى جنوب السودان. أهمية الورشة برجع لأنه كيف إنه يفعلوا دور الصحفيين في مشاركتهم في عملية كتابة الدستور، لأن الدستور ده طبعا ده عملية مهم بيساعد بعدك في تغيير وضع بتاع البلد، ونحن كإعلاميين إننا دور ممكن بعدك نقدر نوصل الرسالة لمواطني جنوب السودان حتى ما بعدك الرسالة تصل بطريقة كويس. بالنسبة لتوقعات مشاركتنا في الورشة، طبعا شاركنا ولقينا إنه في مشاركة على مستوى الناس اللي عندهم خبرة في مجال بتاع القانون وبرضه في طرح اللي هو المبادئ بتاع العمل الصحفي. ده كله يعتبر طبعا مكسب لكل صحفي، وبرضه يعتبر فايدة برضه لكل زول شارك في الكلام ده. دورنا ان احنا طبعا كصحفيين في المقام الاول ان احنا معنيين انه ننقل المعلومات الصحيح عشان الاقل يقدر يصل للمواطن والمواطن يقدر يستفيد منه. في نفس الوقت نحن بنشيل المعلومة من المواطن، المعلومة وصل له بنرجعه تاني للجهات، لان نحن طبعا قاعد نكون الناس اللي هم طبعا ناس بيمثلوا حلقة الوسط بين السلطات الموجودة والناس بعدها قبلها بدور. عشان كده طبعا أهمية دي بترجع. في نفس الوقت الدور المطلوب بينا هنا اللي بيقع علينا كان احنا كصحفيين انه كيف نقدر نوصل الرسالة ده عن طريقة عملية ارسال المعلومات عشان نلقى انه مواطني جنوب السودان كلهم يقدر يستفيدوا من اللحظة دي. فانا بعتبر انه الورشة دي قدر انه يحقق الهدف حقه الاساسي، انه الصحفيين يقدر يلعبوا دورهم ويقدر انه كيف يساهموا في عملية اللي هو making process بتاع الدستور حقنا بتاع جنوب السودان. وبعدها رول حقنا نحن كصحفيين نقدر نشارك كيف نخلي المواطن طبعا يقدر يشارك بفعالية لفائدة جنوب السودان ولفائدة الوطن.
We heard there from some journalists who spoke to our contributor Jackson Ganiko in Juba yesterday during the opening of a 3-day workshop on the role of journalists in the permanent constitution-making process in South Sudan, conducted by Union of Journalists of South Sudan in collaboration with JICA, United Nations Mission in South Sudan, among others. Now, the constitution-making process is actually a requirement in the revitalized peace agreement before the country can go for general elections. Before that, we heard from Wek Mamer, who's the National Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs. We also heard from Dr. Riang Yer, who's the chairperson of the National Constitutional Review Commission. Now, remember last month, Dr. Yang said the nationwide civic education and public consultations required for the country's constitution-making process were delayed due to insecurity and insufficient resources. He also said that although the Commission launched the civic education and public consultations on March 27th this year, the activities have largely been confined to the capital, Juba. Dr. Yang attributed this to the challenging political and security situation in the country, which he said has made it difficult to extend these activities to other states, administrative areas and counties. Now, the NCRC, or the Commission chairperson, further stressed that the slow pace of resource mobilization has been another major obstacle. He also indicated that despite the initial steps taken in March, the Commission has not yet been able to expand its outreach beyond Juba. Now, back in September last year, Dr. Yang also said that the constitution-making process could be completed within 18 months, provided that necessary resources were made available in a timely manner. Now, the Constitution-Making Process Act 2022 stipulates that after the enactment of the Act, the Commission shall establish a Constitution Drafting Committee. Now, this will also be followed by the appointment of a subcommittee which shall convene the conference to mark the beginning of the constitution-making process. Now, South Sudan's constitution-making process is a crucial step toward establishing a permanent legal framework for governance, democracy, and stability in the country. This process, outlined in the 2018 Revitalized Peace Agreement, is central to the nation's future political landscape. Civic education also plays a key role in ensuring that South Sudanese citizens understand their rights. And when we talk about civic education, here comes the role of media and also understanding their rights and also responsibilities and the importance of a democratic constitution. So the National Constitution Review Commission was among the electoral institutions that received an advance allocation of £1.2 million from the government in April last year. Now, it has also, however, embarked on construction and renovation activities at the National Constitutional Review Commission headquarters in Juba using part of the 1.2 billion pound the constitution received from the government. The UNDP has also contributed by providing a new hall for the Constitution Drafting Committee and expanding the commission's previous meeting hall. سؤال اللي بنطرحه، هل انت متفق انت مع الرأي بتاع انه الاتفاق دستور جنوب السودان يكون عنده دستور دائم قبل ما البلاد تمشي للانتخابات، ولا ممكن البلاد تمشي في الانتخابات في السنة الجاية وبعد ذاك الدستور الدائم بعد ذاك ممكن يعملوا؟ وما تنسى في أقاويل مختلفة على أساس إنه حتى من الحكومة، بعض من الأفراد في الحكومة اللي كان بيقول إنه ما ممكن دستور دائم يعملوه بأعضاء بتاع البرلمان اللي هم ما دائمين أو اللي هم ما منتخبين، لأنه البرلمان الحالي الام بيز ما منتخبين لكن هم عينوهم، يعني ما بيمثلوا البقاعات الجغرافية اللي الناس دايرينهم إنه يمثلون في البرلمان. طيب ليه ما نمشي الانتخابات في السنة الجاي وبعد ذاك بعد ما ننتخب الام بيز بتاعنا بعد ذاك هم يعملوا الدستور الدائم؟ لكن برضو اتفاقية السلام المنشط بيقول البلاد لازم تكون عندها دستور دائم قبل الانتخابات. اتصل علينا وقدم مشاركتك. راديو. Yes, radio.
This is me, Torpuk.
Torpuk, welcome.
شكرا بالبرنامج ده. أولا حاجة دستور أهم حاجة، لأنه الدستور ده قانون بتاع الدولة. وما في دستور لأنه حاجات بعملوه ما بعملوه، عشان كده عشان الدستور ده هو قوانين كتير لازم يكون دستور بعملوه عشان انتخابات.
Oh, sorry Torpuk, we lost you there on the line. Radio. Get back to us on 0911 or 22 986 986. Radio.
Emmanuel Joseph Akile. أنا كشوك.
تفضل كشوك.
أخوي موضوع الدستور ده حاجة مهم. السؤال زي ما تقول في ناس بقول إنه أعضاء البرلمان غير منتخبين، وفي ناس بقول الاتفاقية السلام لازم يكون في دستور دائم. كمان اتفاقية السلام يعني هو ذاته دستور. إذا كان اتفاقية بقول قبل انتخابات يكون في دستور دائم، يبدو أنه الجنوبيين كله يكون في دستور دائم، لأن الدستور الدائم يا بفصل لنا وتسمية بتاع أنا ماشيين فوقه. الدستور الدائم يا بنظم حكومتنا ذاته، فبدون دستور إيمانويل يبدو أنه نحن ماشيين ساعة بدون دستور، ودولة هو دستور. بعدين الرئيس هذا ما انتخبت، بعدين لو انتخب بدون دستور مش يحلف بآيات الدستور، يحلف القسم بتاعه، يعني ممكن يحلف قسم بتاعه أمام الجمهور. يعني الدستور لازم يكون بالدستور دائم موجود، يعني الدور ده الرئيس بيجي حكومة بيجي ده بيجي يحلف فيه ياو نصنا حكومتنا، لكن بدون دستور دائم مثلا بدل يكون في فوضى هي زول داير يعمل فيه نفسه. يعني لو عملناه انتخابات بدون دستور معناه السلطة الجاي ده بيجي يعمل له الدستور هو ممكن للتعليمات بتاعه، يعني يزيد نفسه بكم سنة ويكون فقط كله بيكون بالرئيس زي ما فقط من الرئيس بالدستور انتهى وتم تعطيل بتاع اتفاقية السلام المناسب. اتفاقية السلام حق انه لازم يكون الدستور قبل الانتخابات.
شكرا. هناك كشوك داير انه we should have a permanent constitution before the conduct of general elections, and this is what the agreement stipulates. Radio.
Hello, Radio.
سلطان جوزيف.
Emmanuel Akile.
نعم.
أنا لا بتفق باتفاق الإسلام، لا بتفق كلام الماشي ده. الكلام الماشي شغله كله بلد. اتفاق السلام كله جاب المشاكل كم نواب. أنا ما بتفق معه، أنا بتفق بالانتخابات بتاع 2026 والمواطن الجنوبي يقول كده بتاعه. ما الناس اللي كان جاب كم نواب، جاب 600 البرلمانيين وجاب كم وزير، يا تاني يا عنده دستور. الدستور يجيبوا من الشعب 2026 الجاي ده. المواطن اللي بيجيبوه في 2026 يا بعمل دستور دائم، مش دستور بتاع اتفاقية 2018 اجاب مشاكل كل بلد، اجاب الجو، اجاب قرائية. لا انا بتفقوا بانتخابات 26 عشان المواطن يقول كلمة بتاعه يا ايمان ولا كله. شكرا جزيلا.
شكرا لك. He is disagreeing with Kashok there, saying we should first go for general elections and thereafter our elected MPs can actually come up with the permanent constitution. Radio? Hello, Radio? Yes, get back to us on the same line. Radio? Hello, Radio? منو معنا؟ على صوتك بعيد شوي ارجع تاني واتصل علينا. Remember also live on our Facebook page, so you can also drop your comment or have your say there. Bring us about 18 minutes to the top of the hour. دستور دائم قبل الانتخابات ولا انتخابات ومنه دستور دائم في جنوب السودان؟ ودور بتاع الإعلام ممكن يكون كيف بطريقة فعالة في الناحية بتاعة السيفيك education. راديو. نعم سليمان.
يا سليمان هاي ترى كويس. اول حاجه انا بشيت كلاب اللي انت جبتها بتاع الصحفيين ده، لانه الصحفيين بجد هم مرآة بتاع الدوله. شكرا كثير لانه انت جبت لنا كلاب حقهم ده في وركشوب اللي ممكن نعمله.
نعم.
انا بناشد الحكومه يدي مساحه كامله للصحفيين عشان يقدر يخطط لنا انتخابات الجاي. بما يخص ان الدستور والسؤال بتاعك اكيله، الحكايه ما مسألة انه الدستور فيه هسه ولا الدستور ما فيه. ما احنا قعدنا من 2011 بدستور انتقالي بدفاتر انتقاليه. هل دول كان ما مشى. مشكله بتاعنا هنا يا عكيله كلام دستور ده ما سياسيين يا بكلا وبراهم. احنا زادوا كمواطنين بما فيه انا وانت عندنا حق عشان نجلب السؤال بتاعنا في دستور الدائم بتاع جنوب السودان. ما سياسيين بس، ما مجردين اعداء بتاع برلمانيين يا بكلا الدستور ده. فانا هنا نشوف حل وسط، كان دستور ده هسه فيه ولا دستور ده ما فيه، بس نمشي لانتخابات. انتخابات ممكن بعد شنو؟ شعب بيبقى كلنا سياسيين يعني الشعب بتاع السودان كله عايز يجي براحته، ودستور ده كده لكوبا وده كله يلا بدنا ناس يطلع بدستور دائم بتاع السودان، ما سياسيين برايا بتاع الديره بتاع. لانه انا قاعد نشوف هسه كان قلنا ما يعملوا انتخابات عشان يقولوا الدستور ما لسه بلغ لسه أننا قاعدين لسه يعني إحنا بنقعد في نفس المرحلة اللي هسه إحنا قاعدين نقعد فيها. فأنا هنا دستور انتقالي ولا دستور دائم نمشي الانتخابات أولا بدأنا نعمل دستور بتاعنا الدائم، لأن الدستور ده بيدير له زمن ما باستجال. دارين دستور اللي ممكن بحكمنا 500 سنة 600 سنة. فأنا مع انتخابات يعمل نفسه بدأ ممكن نشوف دستور دائم بعد انتخابات. شكرا.
شكرا. ودستور بعد الانتخابات لأنه في النهاية لسه البلاد شغال بالدستور انتقالي. And by the way, South Sudan has never undertaken general elections as an independent country, and polls were scheduled for December 2024 according to the revitalized peace agreement. That was to usher in a democratically elected government and close a chapter of an ending transitions. But then in September last year, the transitional government secured 2 more years in power. Yes, hello Radio. Radio.
Emmanuel جوزيف أكيله.
أستاذ مجوق.
أستاذ مجوق يعني.
نعم تفضل.
إيمانويل طبعا يعني من الأعراف، يعني حتى يعني خليج من الدولة، حتى في بلد ساكن لو ناس دايرين يعينوا برمنشي مثلا، الناس اللي بتنافس ما في قواعد بخطوه. ده في البلد ساكن خليج من دولة، في قواعد بخطوه إنه فلان ده بيجيب كده 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 كده. في لوايا كويس يعني حتى المجتمعات وعشائر وبطون ده بيكون معروف عشان ما يزول ما يجي يخش في لاين ما لا عشان ما يكون في تزوير. كويس ده حاجات عرفيه. لكن لما نجي في الدوله لان دستور شغال مع دستور انتقالي، انت لو داير تطور بلد ما انت عمرك انت ما بتعيش في دستور انتقالي، انت بكون دستور دائم. الدستور ده ما يعود على بوجهك انت اللي بقول لك اللي بحدد لك دوائر جغرافيه ده منو؟ ده من جنوب راسك مع دستور. كويس؟ الشروط ذات بتاع انتخاب ذاته اللي بحدد ده مع دستور. حتى الناس المرشحين ذاته ما في شروط معينه اللي بحدد ده مع دستور. والفتره ذات بتاع الرئاسه اللي بحدد منو ده مع دستور. كويس؟ ف حاجه غريب خلاص. وناس بيتكلم قال خلي قانون ينفذوه.
طيب انت لو ما ده دستور انت هتمشي تغاب ياتو اول حاجه ذات انت والفتره بتاع الانتقال ده يعني ناس قاعدين فوق راسه ده ما جاي من الشعب كويس ما بنلبي مع الشعب ما دستور ده بيجي من الجراوند يعني المواطن بيكون له صوت فوق وصوت المواطن ده بحترمه حتى الناس بعدين بيجي بالتغابر في الدول الجغرافيه ده الشعب يا بيجيبه وفق للدستور كويس انت عندك حق تقول لي يا زول ده كده وزول ده كده
نعم
لكن انت لما تجيبني رئيس وانا بعدين بيجي بحدد على اساس هواي انا على اساس الطموحات بتاعي ممكن انا بقول الرئاسه ممكن كان يكون 6 سنه ولا 7 سنه انا قاعد في كرسي وبعدين انا بعمل اللوبي بتاعي عشان انا وتاني بيجي بقعد بكون قاعد فوق ده ما بتجي انا ما زول ما يكون راسي تاي في رمده وظهره برا الدستور ده سنه الحياه ده بالنسبه لي الحياه ده بالنسبه لحاجات كثير جدا ما انت تمشي انتخابات كده شوف جول الجوار ده كيف في ناس بيجي انتخابات بدون دستور ده من وين ده شكرا
alright شكرا لك. واستاذ مجوك ده بيتكلم عن انه الدستور الدائم يكون في محله وبعد ذاك الانتخابات ممكن يعملوها ده زي ما حسب او ورد في اتفاقيه السلام. لكن في موضوع مهم لازم نعرفه انه الرئيس بتاع لجنة مراجعة الدستور الانتقالي قال إنه هم بيحتاجوا ل 18 شهر عشان البلاد يكون عنده دستور دائم. 18 شهر ده يا هو هنا في شهر 6 يعني لحد شهر 12 ده مفترض يكون حصل. وهل ده فعلا أو واقعيا ده حاجة بيحصل؟ لسه ما معروف هم اللي بيجاوبوا السؤال ده. Hi Radio. Yes, good morning.
Hey, morning. How are you?
Good. Your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, this is Lino. We're calling from Jubalamani, Juba.
Yes, go ahead.
Yes. How is the morning with you, man?
Good. Go ahead.
Yeah. To put my view on this issue of election. Hello?
Yes, continue.
Yeah, we are supposed to have a constitution before we go for election. Because constitution is the one going to tell us which government are we going to elect. And which criteria are we going to use so that we can secure those certain elections? For instance, then after that we are going to draw a constitution. Then those who have been elected without a constitution, maybe they draw a constitution whom they will stay in power for more than 20 years. So for me, I don't agree with the December election. So in the election.
All right, we got your point. So هو بيقول دستور أول بعد ذاك الانتخابات دستور الدائم طبعا. Hi Radio.
Emmanuel, Joseph, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
This is Joseph from Muniki.
Go ahead.
My brother, my input to this topic, there is a difference from the constitution, which is main permanent constitution, with the interim constitution. Interim constitution is the one who gives these people in power, gives them powers to work there. He also mandate them to do what they have to do. Even they have to go for the election. What is interim constitution? When they go to the election in 2010, they were permanent constitution. This is wrong. Could not be related with the permanent constitution. Permanent constitution need people from the grassroots, need people to be consulted as the people of South Sudan. Because constitution is not for politicians. It's not for parties for bilateral peace agreement. This one has to be understood very well. So constitution must be made it through diversity, through South Sudanese territories, through South Sudanese people, to understand what means constitution and to contribute. That is what so-called constitution. Second to it, there is a statement from the chairperson of the commission. He's repeating 18 months all along. It's 18 months up to date. Even if coming 2 months or 3 months, will they also appeal for 18 months? These 18 months, there's no limit. It is now 18 months from June, and it was 18 months 6 months ago. So we don't know. These are projects for misleading people or what they are going to do. Because what we want is if the permanent constitution has to be consulted. But now I don't know who is related with the revitalized agreement, which is not implemented today. People have to talk on honest. You must be honest. I myself, I need our constitution to be made by the elected members of the parliament to approve the permanent constitution who based on the diversity, be brought from the grassroots, not from the national level that people are coming from nowhere. There is a members of the parliament that do not show the area constituency. They will not say that our area began from here until there. And they are now flying to represent us here. Do you know the constitution, government constitution demanded by the people that are not even knowing who is in the grassroots right now? So what do we want is the permanent constitution to be made by the elected members of the parliament. Let these people accept it to go for the election before the permanent constitution.
Right.
Later on they will come. They will come through grassroots. They will not come from parties. Parties contribute for
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Joseph, there. And what he was saying is not far from what we talked about in May last year. Remember, we heard from a religious leader who was actually at the high-level mediation for South Sudan in Nairobi, or the Tumaini initiative, who said the constitution, linking the constitution making with the conduct of general elections was actually a technical mistake the peace parties made in the 2018 peace deal. And you know, the agreement said the permanent constitution shall be completed not later than 24 months following the establishment of the transitional period, and shall be in place to guide the elections toward the end of the transition. It also added that the permanent constitution making process shall be based on the principles of the supremacy of the people of South Sudan. So Bishop Enoch Tombe actually said it took it took Kenya about 40 years to pass its permanent constitution. Imagine. iRadio. صباح النور.
اوكي مقلوال من قطورة.
أنا منو؟
مقلوال من قطور.
باك تفضل.
اوكي شكرا لك على البرنامج. يلا بجي هاي انا شايف الاسم ده علي عندما زمن نكوري في الدستور ما الدستور كده حاجه كويس جدا ولازم الناس تخش في الانتخابات. لان الانتخابات اسم ده الدستور ده حكومه يعني ما قاعد بالدرجه وما عنده مشاكل كثير يعني الناس منتخبين. وانا بتفق مع الاخوان اللي بيقولوا انه الدستور بعد الانتخابات. شكرا لك.
alright شكرا. ده رايك برضه. iRadio.
iRadio صباح الخير.
صباح النور.
This is Kurenjirad from Korulem.
Go ahead.
Emmanuel Joseph Akile salam بتاعي لك في الاستوديو والسلام بتاعي لكل المستمعين بتاع اي راديو في كل مكان او 4 جنوب السودان. التوبيك اللي انت جبته ده ايمانويل ده توبيك مهم شديد وده حاجه بيخص شعب بتاع جنوب السودان من صغير لكبير. حاجه اللي بيقولوا دستور الدائم يا جماعه ده ما حاجه بسيط، ده ما حاجه الناس بتستعجل عليه عشان بعدين تندم لحاجه انت عملته بنفسك. ده شيء بيخص حياه ومستقبل بتاع جنوب السودان. إذا ده شيء بيخص حياة ومستقبل بتاع جنوب السودان، إذا داير أننا ناخذ زمن نخلي الشعب بتاعنا في كل محلات اللي هم فيه فوقه في مناطق الريفية يشرحوا لهم الدستور الدراب إنه 1 2 3 يا قوانين بتاعك البحكمك في المستقبل. لو عنده حاجة لو بيشوفوا ما ياو وبيقول ده كده مفروض يكون كده. And then people will make senses عشان يعرف إنه ده يعطوا القانون الصح الدايرينه يحكم جنوب السودان للأجيال الجاية. فأنا بشوف لما تقول حسبي إن لازم يكون في دستور دائم قبل الانتخابات، بالمعنى أنت قاعد تجر لسه الحكومة الحسيدة لزمن تاني قدام، والحكومة ده يا جماعة ده بيجي تقيل لرقب بتاعنا هنا كشعب بتاع جنوب السودان، تقيل عديل كده. فأنا بشوف based on the constitution الحسي فيه ده خلي الناس ده يعملوا election عشان ننقص الحكومة بتاعنا ده ونجيب ناس اللي بيمثل ناس اللي بيجي من constituencies بتوعهم هناك ده عشان بعدين هم يبقوا هناك
بشرح للناس تومن ده إنه يا جماعة 1 2 3 دي أو constitution بكلام زي ده وهم بيجيبوا رأي من هناك ده وزارين تو ناس بتاعت الميديا دي أو ناس بيقولوا إنه عملوا قانون بتاعهم لكن لو قانون عملوه حسب استجال القاعد دو زمن ده من كده لكده بعملوا ده كده ده ما بيكون قانون اللي بيعملوا الشعب بتاع جنوب السودان ده قانون اللي بيعملوا المسؤولين الحسي قاعدين ده سواء كان في برلمان ولا شنو بعدين الناس ما ينسى برلمان ده نسب كويس برلمان الفي ده نسب ده ما الناس اللي بيمثلوا الشعب ما بيمثلوا الدائرات اللي هم جايين فوقه ده انا عندي علاقه مع فلان انا بقول لازم يا اخي عندي فلان تعالى جيبه لان انا كنت واحد شغال مع حكومه بتاع دفاع عقوبه ستيت زول بدوك تليفون لقى انا بقول يا اخي والله عندي فلان ده جانا ده مره بتاع مرحوم يا اخي ده جيبه في المحل ده عشان يقدر يساعد عيال بتوعه imagine to be a lawmaker تساعد عيال بتاعك ده انا بشوف يا جماعه ده ما حقيقه خلينا اول نخلص من الكلام ده ونجي نعمل constitution بتاعنا على زول ما يكون مظلوم بعدين ده بتاعي وبعدين سلام خليه يكون فيه سلام خليه يكون فيه في القلوب بتاعنا كلنا عشان البلد بتاعنا يمشي كده لانه لو ما في سلام في مناطق الان لسه ما بنوصل سواء كان election ولا سواء كان الدستور ده زاد عشان يوصل نشرح له هناك ده ما في لانه there will be insecurity in some areas of our country. Let us have peace within ourselves before you go out of your house. Have peace with your children and then go to your neighbors and then neighbors to neighbors and then you couldn't between parties and parties. ما نعمل بلد تعليب يا جماعة. Limited. شكرا يا أخي.
Alright, shukran jazilan limusharaka bitaga. And we have also a few comments here on our Facebook page. Also, Town Mayor is watching us live from Sherikat. Pok Reu is watching us from Yida. And then we have G. Mayen is watching us from Nimule. And then Mareng is saying that's great. And you're most welcome to this morning news program by the grace of God. Another message from Peter Yaya is saying I am watching live from Rwanda this morning. And another message from Godwill. Godwill is saying watching us live from Kampala in Uganda. Another message here from Angay is also saying watching us live from Rumbek Center in Lake State. ده رسالة اللي برضو بيجي منه هناك في صباح اليوم. جوك كانيارو برضو بيقول good morning. We have Dobul Nial is saying good morning I radio watching live from Al Khobar in Saudi Arabia. Yes, we'll leave it there for today. We've come to the end of the Dawn edition. Join us again tomorrow morning at the same time to get the latest on what's happening in South Sudan and beyond the borders. Up next, news in Arabic with Abaj Ukuchaga. On behalf of the Dawn team, Paulina Althea, Juan Moses and producer Barry Johnson, this has been Emmanuel Joseph Akile. Stay safe, stay blessed. Have a good day.